What's up, everybody? Welcome to Racing Dudes Live. Glad to have you here. Magic in the control center. Aaron and Jared are live trackside at Keeneland. We'll see if we can get them in here throughout the afternoon. Hope you're having a good day. Happy opening day of Keeneland Spring Meet. What a way to start things off, too. We've got three excellent stakes we're going to be covering here for you, starting with the Lafayette Stakes for about 10 minutes to post for race 7. Real quick, before we get started, a couple of things. If you haven't joined us before for one of these live shows, welcome. Glad to have you here. We absolutely love and rely on you people in the chat with your comments, with your thoughts, your ideas, what you want to bet. No wrong answers in there. We'll talk about it all leading up to the races here. Also, if you haven't yet subscribed to youtube.com/racingdudes, we're trying to get to 11,000 subscribers on the channel before the Kentucky Derby, and we are officially less than 1 month away. We are 29 days out from the Churchill Downs' biggest day, the biggest day in horse racing, really, in America. Glad to have all of you here, though. It's been an up and down day already as far as betting goes for me, and that makes sense. It's Keeneland. Keeneland always one of the toughest meets of the year, especially the spring meet, because you have all these horses coming from different locations, several horses coming from long layoffs, and tomorrow, especially Saturday's card, 5 graded stakes races comprising the All Stakes Pick 5 that Mike Somich and I covered for the Magic Mike Show Pick 5 show. You can check that out, youtube.com/racingdudes, and anywhere you get podcasts. So you can get our picks for those races. But we have a lot of question marks in those races. I kind of went with horses that are mostly in form, not coming off layoffs. Mike is trusting horses that are going to be coming off of 6-month layoffs. We haven't seen them since 6 months ago, almost to the day, at this exact track where we're right now. Keeneland hosted the 2022 Breeders' Cup. It's such a beautiful course. It was my first time being there. Absolutely love the facilities. Class act all around at Keeneland. By the way, if you ever go there, the food is incredible. I'm not a big fan of the burgoo. Don't understand it personally. To me, it's chili, but it's good chili. But it is chili. But it is not chilly. Well, the weather looks a little chilly there. I've seen a lot of coats and sweatshirts. I know Aaron and Jared were there last year for the Bluegrass, and it was snowing and frosty in the morning. But here we go. We got 8 minutes to post for the Lafayette Stakes, and you want to talk about an interesting race. You've got 7 3-year-olds going 7 furlongs on the dirt, and holy speed. If you're like me, I use Timeform US for the pace rating to try and get an understanding of how the race shape will go early. 100 speed means they're at least 100 speed figure for the early Timeform pace rating means they're probably very quick and like to be close to the lead. And as I mentioned, you've got 7 horses in here. 5 of them are at least 100. 2 of the other 2 that aren't, they're 97 and 98. So there's going to be a lot of speed here. Definitely a jockey's race to see who gets the horses to kind of settle a little bit and relax off the pace. And hey, maybe like today we'll have little interruptions like we do right now from my son Colson, who wanted to come bet Keeneland with us. But yeah, he's not 21 or 18 yet, wherever you're at in your jurisdiction. Not quite old enough to bet. He'll tell me who he wants to bet while he goes and takes his little nap right now. But let's check how everybody's going in the chat. I've seen the early comments here. The cameraman at Keeneland, boy, that first race, the first race of the day, first race of the meet at Keeneland, it's always a 2-year-old race, and they come out of that little special chute that's kind of on the outside of the far turn. So it's really not even quite a full turn they're making. It's 4.5 furlong race because they are young, and you can't expect them to go much farther than 4.5. A lot of those horses didn't even want to try and go 4.5 furlongs. But boy, that angle on that camera, oof, it looked like there was an earthquake that hit. But hey, nobody's perfect. We'll see where we can get going here. By the way, one thing I forgot to mention, if you're watching us live on YouTube, appreciate that. If you are, especially if you're from out of the country, I know a lot of our fans and viewers that watch us for these live shows aren't able to watch the races through an ADW like we are in America. Keeneland is one of the few tracks that actually posts on YouTube their whole track feed. So it is a legal, free live stream. I've got it pinned at the top of the chat. If you go to youtube.com and watch the stream I'm doing right now through YouTube, the link is right there. I just asked that if you click on it, open it in a separate window, mute it, kind of do a little half and half screen. Stay with us here for the live stream because I'm telling you, this chat is a lot of fun. Curtis talking about the last race there, needed the 3 for a score, and the guy zooming out as the race finished. Listen, it's opening day. Everybody's kind of working off the cobwebs. We got some interesting things happening, so we'll be forgetting about that. Robert Healy, good to see you back in the chat. Good day so far. He said hit the early pick 5 for $823 on a $62.50 ticket. Yeah, 13x return. Nicely done, Robert. And especially because you started with a 3-5 Wesley Ward horse named Bledsoe, who, let's face it, every time Wesley Ward brings the 2-year-olds to Keeneland and they do well, they go right to the Royal Ascot meet in June. So you could see Bledsoe be one of those horses that goes over there. He is a buy out of a dam who was a 7-time winner on turf, and she was a grade 2 winner, a stakes winner as well, like Spring. So you could definitely see Bledsoe go over there, though. As Mike Somich and I were texting today, if you're Wesley Ward, you better hope that's not your best 2-year-old that you just shot out there, because it looked good, but some question marks about that one there. Oh, I'm sorry. Burgoo's not even close to chili. It's more like stew. See what I mean? Everybody gets offended when I say that I don't like Burgoo. Yeah, y'all are crazy about that one. Special Golden Kitten says, making my 6th or 7th pilgrimage to Keeneland tomorrow. Congratulations. That's awesome. Apparently, you're going to want to bring a sweater and maybe some mittens. But if you're there, if anybody's going to be there at Keeneland on Saturday, Aaron, Jared, and Dr. Miranda, 3/6, 1/2. That's what that fraction is of the Racing Dudes team. They'll be there in person live, so you can go meet up with them. They're a lot of fun at the track, especially if you like to drink. You don't have to like to drink. That's okay. They'll still hang out with you anyway. But they definitely will be doing that. Curtis Miller, this is a good question. I've gotten this before, and I did not realize Machine Gun Kelly's legal first name is Coulson. Different spelling. It's we named him after Agent Phil Coulson from Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Avengers movies. It's a Coulson. I think Machine Gun Kelly doesn't have that U. Shadi, good to see you in the chat. Hope you're doing well. All right, let's get into this race here. Lafayette Stakes. We've got we're down to now 4 minutes to post, and the betting is getting interesting. And by that, I mean Hijazi, the 3-horse, back with Bob Baffert now, which means clearly we're not going to the Pat Day Mile after this race because Baffert's still banned from Churchill Downs right now. He was 8-5 morning line favorite. He's 2-1 on the second choice. You're 5-2 second choice on the morning line. Corona Bolt taking a lot of steam right now as we're getting close to post. He is the 9-5 favorite. Rob likes Determinedly. The horse was 5-1 morning line, 7-1 right now. And I think this is a great horse to use underneath. Determinedly did not have bad efforts really until the last effort in the Risen Star, but you saw him he, first of all, don't forget, if you remember Arabian Night on Breeders' Cup Friday, I think it was Friday or Saturday, he and Arabian Lion both raced those 2 days, and it's very hard to keep it up. But he was on the undercard at Keeneland for the Breeders' Cup weekend in a maiden special weight. Arabian Night, you remember, just dusted everybody by 7 1/4 lengths, going 7 furlongs, the same trip we're having here. Flavian Pratt was aboard Determinedly. The horse got second, and yes, he was beaten by 7 1/4. He was 6 1/4 lengths ahead of Expect More in third. Came out of that, broke his maiden going 7 by 7 1/4 lengths at Churchill Downs. And look who he beat. Shopper's Revenge, a next out winner who necked out Sun Thunder in third. Sun Thunder also broke his maiden next out. Sun Thunder is a lot of people kind of long shot pick for the Bluegrass Stakes on Saturday here at Keeneland, which probably tells me 10-1 on him. We're not going to get that. After that, Determinedly tried 3 turns at mile on the 16th at Fairgrounds in the Gunrunner Stakes. Tracked in second, faded back to third, just nailed by Raise Cane, another horse we're going to see in the Bluegrass tomorrow. He won the Gotham Stakes earlier this year at Aqueduct. And then Fairgrounds, he got that allowance when Messiah is aboard. Going gate to wire, beat Tappett's Conquest, a Brad Cox horse that people were pretty high on at the time. Last time out, grade 2 Risen Star set the pace, absolutely caved. But the winner of that, Angel of Empire, returned from that to win the Arkansas Derby. Two Phils was third that day. Two Phils won the Jeff Ruby Stakes with the highest buyer figure that we've seen from any 3-year-old on the Derby Trail so far. And hey, look who's there in second, Sun Thunder. Again, that horse just keeps popping up. So all that to say, Rob, if you like Determinedly, I think definitely good underneath use here. And if you want a horse that's not going to be on the lead, that this is the horse that is the slowest out of the gate. And I just told you, or the slowest early in terms of time form pace ratings. And I just told you how many times he's been on or right near the lead there. Let's see who else is betting here. Jared says not betting Hijazi. Listen, I understand there is a lot of speed in here. And I talked about that at the top of the show. There is a lot of speed, but it's different when it's Baffert speed. And he's back with Baffert. This is a horse that they paid, I want to say $3.5 million for, a son of Bernardini, a New York bred. You never see either of those things go for that kind of money. And yet here it is. The horse, a world of talent. Just, the fact that he on debut lost at Del Mar. I was there that day. I was very disappointed, and so was my bank account. But then, he lost. He was second to Speedboat Beach, second out. Speedboat Beach set the 5.5 furlong track record at Del Mar. He's only a length and a quarter off that day. They put him in the Grade 1 American Pharoah going 2 turns. He was third to Cave Rock, who at the time we thought was unbeatable for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, ended up being second that day. And then National Treasure, another Baffert horse. He was third in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile that later here at Keeneland. Finally, as a 3-year-old returns, breaks the maiden, looks very strong doing it. And I remember out of that race thinking it was 6.5 furlongs. It's like, this is a 1-turn horse. I think this is what he's going to be best at. They tried the Grade 2 San Felipe. He kind of set the pace. He got beat by 3 horses a lot of people like for the Santa Anita Derby tomorrow in Practical Move, Go Rocket Ride, and Skinner. And he was only a half length behind Skinner. He was fading, but now we're cutting back from a mile and a 16th to 7 furlongs. We're back with Bob Baffert. And remember, this is the same owner as Taba. Taba was with Baffert, had to move to Yakteen, won the Santa Anita Derby, just scratch out the Kentucky Derby. Rough day for him. It probably was too much for him, but then came back and looked extremely strong the rest of the year. So you got that going for him. All right, they are going headed into the gate. Boy, I've been talking a lot here. Let me see if I can see a little bit more of the chat here. I know Vinny's big on determining. He's biased. Shoddy liking Lugan Knight with the cutback, another horse that, he won the Jerome Stakes going out Aqueduct and just didn't break well in the Gotham. And it was also a muddy course, and cutting back from a mile, he's got a good chance here. Yeah, Corona Bolt does look very good on the track, and it's also a Stone Street bred horse. Stone Street comes with the money for the Keeneland meets, especially. So, and you can't go wrong with Brad Cox. Brad Cox trainee. Flavian Pratt not riding, though Florent Giroux is, and I think I might like Corona Bolt a little bit more if Pratt was on him. But my pick, I'm going with Hijazi in this spot. They are just about all in the gate. Let's get going here. Good luck to everybody if you're betting. I will go ahead and I'm not going to call the race. I'll just let you know kind of what's happening. Whoa, look at the late steam on Hijazi. He is now 7-5 as they break from the gate, and 2-1 on Corona Bolt. And you know what? This is exactly what we thought would happen. There's a big group of horses trying to get going early. The 6 and the 4 kind of drop back a little bit. Hijazi's going to sit in 5th. He looked like he got squeezed a little bit, but now he's clear, and now he's ranging back up. He's 4th. Now he's 3rd. 3 wide. Now he's going to be 2nd, right outside the 7, and now he's going to challenge Corona Bolt. He's on the outside of Corona Bolt for the lead here as they go down the backstretch. The 7, Hurricane J, who I still blame for why Cave Rock lost the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, pushing him early on the front. He's stuck in between horses, but that's a very unenviable position between Corona Bolt and Hijazi. Not looking too good there. I will say I can see John Velasquez with the red cap. He's bouncing a lot, and that tells me he might be pushing Hijazi, but Hijazi's starting to range up. Corona Bolt still a lot of horse. It might be for Florent Giroux. Hijazi just took the lead as we hit the quarter pole here. It's going to be a battle. Look out for the gray horse that's behind it. It looks like Freezing Point. If you want a long shot, boy, 3-6, 5-6. Corona Bolt with a nice fight back. We'll see if Hijazi can get past him here. 22-1, 44-4 your fractions. Boy, this is going to come down to a wire. Corona Bolt versus Hijazi. Corona Bolt pulls away late. Late push. Nope, Hijazi's out. Yep, there you go. It's going to be 5-3-6 and a long ways back to Lugan Knight, the 2 horse in 4th. Well, there you go. If you like Corona Bolt, there you go. Nick Feldman, a big fan of Corona Bolt there. I guess he did take it. Well, it's hard to say he wired it because Hijazi had his head in front a couple of different points there. But I think if you're going by every poll, I think the point of calls there, he's going to end up getting that. Yeah, it's a Cox re-break versus a Baffert re-break. Which one do you trust more? Corona Bolt got the job done. Congrats to Jared Welch. 5 fantasy league points for him for Corona Bolt. A heck of a strong sprinter. He's going to be, if he goes to the Pat Day Mile, Churchill Downs on the Kentucky Derby undercard in a month, that's got to be your favorite, right? I can't see another horse taking any kind of money like Corona Bolt's going to do. What, 7-5 maybe? Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Yeah, poor Vinny. I'm sorry. Determinedly, a really poor effort there. Just didn't show up. Tip of the cap, though, to the 6 Freezing Point. This is a horse that I really don't have any kind of I'm going to look him up right now because I really don't have much of an idea of who this horse is, other than I can tell he's bifrosted. You got that beautiful gray coat, and then also the name kind of tips it off there. Freezing Point broke his maiden at Churchill last fall, and his first start back, he was 11th in the John Battaglia Memorial Stakes at Turfway Park, which was a local prep for the Jeff Ruby Stakes there. Scratch that off. He was third at Churchill Down. Listen, the horse likes Churchill. That's what you can kind of tell from here. See a Freezing Point. We'll probably move on to the Pat Day Mile. You're not getting 66 to 1 on him next time, that's for sure. But a nice effort there nonetheless. Like I mentioned, Lugan Knight, and a very long distance back in fourth, determinedly did not get it. Just not a good effort there from determinedly. And it's unfortunate. It's a horse that had shown a bunch of talent. I think what we're seeing with determinedly, if he doesn't get kind of an easy coasting lead, he's not going to have much of a chance. So sitting back off the pace and trying to rally was not the move here, but he also was trying to rally into a Cox rebreak and a Baffert rebreak. So kind of works out a little bit poorly there. Curtis Manlow saying, if you go to a one-turn mile, the Pat Day Mile next out for Colonel Bolt, play against. If there's any other speed in there, I don't know. It's hard because he's by Bolt d'Oro, so you would assume that the distance shouldn't be much of an issue for him here. Let me see if I can pull up. What is the breeding on Chrono Ball? I'm going to do this live. Out of a Quiet American mare. Quiet American, very good at giving two-turn distance to horses there. I don't know. We'll see. He's definitely your big favorite heading into that Pat Day Mile as things stand right now. We'll see what happens as far as the other Kentucky Derby prep races go, because I think you'll see a lot of horses come out of the Bluegrass, come out of the Wood Memorial, possibly the Arkansas Derby and Florida Derby that we saw last week. You'll see them wanting to cut back their connections. Let's say, mile and an eighth this time, it didn't work for us. We're going to cut back to a one-turn mile and see how that works. Echo again would be a good choice there for the Pat Day. I love that this turned into a Pat Day Mile discussion before the horses even got into picture taken. That's great. No, that's great. We're always looking at it. It's about horse racing, right? As soon as the race is over, okay, what's the next one? Jared Rogers, congrats, buddy. A big fan of us. He's been a long-time follower. Good to see. Hits the super for $5, going 5-3-6-2. You take the two logical horses that you think will be there, and then you add in a couple of long shots. Two of the three longest shots on the board. Like I said, Freezing Point getting up for third is 66 to 1. That's huge. Lugan Knight 11 to 1. The only horse longer odds than him was Hurricane J at 28 to 1. And I know he was right there in the picture as well. But let's see what this pays out. That's a good one right there. Congratulations. Oh, Nick Feldman, buddy. How you doing? All right. He's got a $70 daily doubly. I like that. Daily doubly from Corona Bolt into Pratt and Motion in the next race. I'll have to take a look, see exactly. I can't remember off the top of my head who they are. Najarak. Oh, yeah. Najarak, a very solid third in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf last fall, and then came back at Santa Anita. His final start was third in the Eddie Logan. But a horse that did, as soon as Grand Motion got his hands on him, broke the maiden at Backwaduct, Belmont the Big A last fall, and then returned we'll do the math, 15 days later, and won the Grade 3 Futurity going 6 furlongs at Backwaduct. That got him actually a berth into the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint, and they opted to go long, and Grand Motion knows what he's doing because it seems to be working so well for him so far. So there you go. If anybody's not betting, you just want to send some good vibes, Nick Feldman's got himself a very healthy daily doubly into Corona Bolt there. Yeah, you're a little late there. A little late, Vince. It is Najarak that got it. All right, Chris Milo says $5. I think you mean $5 pick six is through the 2 legs so far. Congratulations. That's, it's been good for you so far. We'll see how things keep going. But hey, that is the Lafayette Stakes there. We're 1 down. We got 2 to go. We'll see how. All right, Superfecta is going to pop up here any second, and then we're going to have to multiply that by 50. So $79.38 is what the super paid for 10 cents. And you had that 50 times. That's a woo. Hey now. Jared Rogers is he's buying dinner tonight. That's a good one. That is a $3,969 superfecta. 79. Make sure I got this math right. $79.38. And you had that 50 times. Yeah. Jared Rogers, dinner's on you tonight, buddy. That's awesome. Congratulations. Good to see you hit that one. Almost $4,000. That is awesome. Yeah. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Whew. All right. I don't want to listen to Flo talk. I know he's going to say, the horse was good. We had a good feeling for him. And French. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Race 8. Oh, boy. You're not kidding. 8-1 morning line on Nazarok. Now, you knew that the odds were going to be a little different here because of the fact that we lost Carl Spackler, the 11 horse, the Chad Brown colt, who was extremely well regarded. It had that super impressive second out maiden win at Gulfstream Park. He scratches. He was the big morning line favorite. So, of course, the money comes flying in on Nazarok. Oh, boy. 2-1 off of 8-1 morning line. Not sure how you're feeling about that one. This is a race that we talked about on Dudes Who Bet Daily earlier today, which if you're not watching, you should. Every Wednesday through Sunday, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, you can catch Mike Somich, Aaron Halterman, Papa Dude Mike Halterman, and sometimes myself if I'm able to make it. We talk about our best bets from around the sports world. We also talk horse racing as well. And we did talk about this race in pretty long detail. So nobody picked Nazarok as their top horse. We of course respect him. It's Motion, it's Pratt, and I talked about his accolades, but none of us were going into him into the race super excited to see what he could do. But for me, I'll start with myself. So why not? It's my show. I'm the only one here. Still waiting to see if Aaron and Jared will be able to join me from the track. Mustache was my top pick here. The 7 horse, Vicky Oliver. And that's not a trainer. No offense to Vicky, just not a trainer. I usually pick that off, especially not on top. But this is a horse that I think is coming along and is going to be very live at a price here right now. Still 6-1 live odds off the 6-1 morning line. So it's holding strong. But broke the maiden on debut, going 5.5 furlongs at Ellis Park. Went to Kentucky Downs, which is a really tough track in an allowance race. Ran fourth after being prominent early. Just again, Kentucky Downs. Some horses just really hate that track. It's very funky there. Third start came to Keeneland for the Indian Summer Stakes, going 5.5 furlongs over this course, and rallied from 6 lengths off and absolutely at the back of the field. Gets second, missing by just 3/4 of a length to Private Creed. And then next time out, decided to stay at Keeneland. Just like Nazarok, tried to extending out, went to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. Victoria Road Silver Knot, the 2 European horses that were there, they were absolute monsters there. They were a nose apart and 2.25 lengths clear of Nazarok. Nazarok was only 3/4 of a length clear of Mustache back and forth. In a horse, again, that was forwardly placed early and just couldn't quite hold on. But you're facing some of the best 2-year-old turf horses in the world at that point, at least from North America and from Europe. Came back at Tampa Bay Downs, and I think this is why we're going to get a price on him. Columbia Stakes, a mile race, $75,000 purse. It wasn't Gulfstream, so it wasn't the championship meet, not the biggest group of horses or toughest group of horses, I should say. But again, kind of what we see this horse do a lot, just kind of tracked, made his move, and just wasn't able to hold on. Talk of the Nation took off and won that race, but held on for second, was 3.25 lengths clear of third. And to me, that's a big sign that this horse is talented, just got beat by a better horse. Luis Saez was aboard that day for the first time, keeps the mount here. Saez riding for Vicky Oliver, 17% win percentage over the last year. So Vicky Oliver overall, 13% winners, 13% at Keeneland. So you get a 4% upgrade from Luis Saez, literally a jockey upgrade in this spot. Saez and Oliver also 44% in the money together when they ride, and a lot of mounts together. So I would say for Luis Saez picking up, this is a great sign that this horse is going to do well. See what everybody, if you're watching, let me know who you like for this race here. I know that Mike Somich's top pick was the number 2 Web Slinger, 5-1 morning line, not getting much love, 9-1 right now. Mark Cassie, the trainer, Javier Castellano. I want to say Junior Castellano. That's Junior. Javier Castellano, Hall of Fame jockey, is picking up the mount here. And another horse that had won the Now Stakes at Monmouth Park last fall, going a mile, a huge $500,000 purse. It got him into the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. Horse broke poorly, was almost second to last early. Ended up only finishing 11th. He was within 4 lengths of the leader. And again, remember, the top 2 were 2.25 lengths clear. So he's part of a blanket finish, but just never was really coming along there. Not something that was super exciting. They made the decision to geld him right there, which is interesting. You have a 2-year-old turf route stakes winner at 2, and they said, no, we need to geld him, see if this will wake him up. I think it did. He returned to Gulfstream Park on February 11th, going a mile and 16th on the turf. Castellano riding for the first time, beats allowance horses by 3/4 of a length, despite, again, not the best of starts. This is what really kind of caught my eye, and I also know Mike Somich is the Colonel Liam Stakes on that would have been the Fountain of Youth Stakes day at Gulfstream Park. Dude in Colorado who's in this race gets the win. He's a very highly regarded Todd Pletcher horse. I'll scroll down. You can see Ira Ortiz Jr. is going to keep the mount on him for this race. Dude in Colorado looked great, only beat him by a half length. And I would say that he had a much better trip than Webslinger did. And now Webslinger drawn, like I said, from the 2-post here. He broke from the rail when he won 2 back. He's going to need the pace to collapse in front of him, but there are a lot of horses where you have questions about, can they handle this? I talked about Mustache. If Mustache gets pushed, as much as I like that horse made my top pick, if Mustache gets pushed, we've seen what happens is he'll fade off and won't be there to get the job done. So that's for, as far as Webslinger, third off the layoff, third start as a 3-year-old, lots of things to like about him. And again, he's going to be coming late. Castellano riding for Mark Cassidy, 17% winners, 43% in the money. Good stats there. Let's talk about your favorite right now. The number 12 Dude in Colorado, 3-1 morning line. And right now he is he's still sitting there. I'm sorry, he was a 92 morning line. He's at 3-1 odds as we speak right now. I forgot the time form updates that as we go. But Dude in Colorado, they tried debuting him on the turf they did debut him on turf in a 2-turn race at Backwaduct. Kind of ran in place in third the whole time around. Didn't really do much in that race. I mean, it was fine. It was his debut. Returned to Gulfstream Park and showed up on the synthetic. It was a maiden special weight that was meant for the turf, got rained off. He ended up going gate to wire there. Ends up pulling away very strongly in the stretch to win by 3 1/4 lengths. Came back as a 3-year-old, the grade 3 Kitten's Joy Stakes, another mile on the 16th turf route. Luis Saez in the saddle. Tried going gate to wire. A different stablemate, Major Dude, came up and nailed a Major Dude at that point. I think was just a much better developed, farther along horse. Candidate, a horse that is here, the 8 horse, we'll talk about him in a little bit, got up for second by a neck over Dude in Colorado. Came back last time out at Gulfstream Park, as we talked about the Colonel Liam. Tracked from second just off the early leaders, able to hold on after making his move and taking the lead in the stretch. Able to hold off Webslinger, Bapio, other horses. So we know that he loves a fight. He's shown that he can handle it. But if he gets pressured early, like he did in the Kitten's Joy, it doesn't always turn out. I will say that if he ends up going to the lead here, it's probably going to be to his detriment. But if Ortiz is able to, Irad's able to get him to settle off the pace, gets him to, whoever's leading, just sit back just a little bit. I think that's going to be the key to his victory here. That 12 post doing him no favors, but I still think that he's got a good chance in here, as good a chance as anybody. A Son of Uncle Mo out of a street crime mare. I said this on the Magic Mike show as well. It's Irad, it's Todd Pletcher, it's on the turf. These are the best connections in the sport right now, bar none. These are the best connections going right now. So we got that. All right, Curtis Manlow wants to talk about Freedom Trail. Where is he? I got to pull him up on the rail horse. There he is. Frankie Dettori riding for John Terranova. Not always a combination that you see when they're together, but 17% winner so far this year for Frankie Dettori. His last year riding, he will retire after the Breeders' Cup this year from racing, and not sure how much longer we'll see him in America right now. It seems like he doesn't have a Kentucky Derby horse, which is unfortunate, a race that he's one of the few major races around the world that he hasn't won, unless he somehow gets a miracle mount or someone gifts him something great. I don't think we'll see him because he also has a horse for the Guineas the same weekend, if not the same day as the Kentucky Derby over in Europe, that he will probably most likely go and ride. And that's okay. Listen, we'll take Frankie Dettori and his world-class riding as much as we can. But Freedom Trail, you got a horse that was 20-1 on the morning line. Right now is 17-1 on the odds. So you're getting a great value on him. And you got a horse that's going to be second off of the layoff for John Terranova. He was in the same Columbia Stakes as Mustache was sixth, several lengths off the pace early with Irad Ortiz Jr. riding him. Only able to rally up for fourth, was beaten 6 1/4 lengths. He showed some interest late, but I'm willing to scratch that off because I think that he's just a little bit rusty. You look at this horse's, how he started his career, went to Backwaduct, broke the maiden on debut, going 2 turns on the turf. That's very hard to do. Came from 9.5 lengths back in 8th place to get the job done right at the wire by a head. Came back about 34 days later in a WAD Stakes at Backwaduct, about a week before the Breeders' Cup. They decided, we're not going to try the Breeders' Cup. He wasn't that far along yet. Irad Ortiz Jr. in the saddle, again, rallies from several lengths, 8.5 lengths off, gets up for the win by 3/4 of a length. they decided to try the dirt. He is a son of Collected, who was great on dirt. At this point, early in their 2-year-old season, you see, what can we do with this horse? Is he a potential Kentucky Derby horse? No, you can't blame him for giving it a shot. Just that was a big old misfire there. Kentucky Jockey Club ends up only running 8th, beaten 3.5 lengths. However, that is a race that has come back incredibly strong. Instant Coffee won, future Kentucky Derby prep off of that race. Curly Jack won out of there. You had Hayes Strike, Red Route 1, who was, until the Arkansas Derby was looking like a great horse for the Kentucky Derby. Cyclone Mischief was in that race as well. And, I'm not the biggest Dale Romans fan in the world, but Cyclone Mischief, very strong effort in the Florida Derby last time out. So good horses that were in there. And again, dirt, just scratched off, wasn't his game. If you think he was rusty in the Columbia Stakes and just needed one, now we're second off of the layoff, and that is a nice angle for most any horse. You would expect to see them return, and especially for Terra Nova, that's a strong angle. As far as Freedom Trail's running style, like I said, you're going to see him near the rear. He'll probably be back there with Web Slinger, the number 3, and the winner is. We haven't talked about him yet. And then on the other end, like I talked about, you got Mo Stash will be on the front end. The 12 dude in Colorado you expect will probably be sitting just off of him. And then the 9, Nazarok will probably be up there as well. I did see somebody say that they wanted to go with the 8 candidate. And I apologize, I can't find who said it, but let's talk about the 8 here. Candidate. I'll pull down your comment here, Curtis Manlow. The number 8 candidate. Oh, didn't mean to rhyme. Arnie Delacour with trains Joel Rosario rides, and a horse that 2 back at Gulfstream Park, got his stakes win in the Dania Beach, was beat me that day. I was all over Major Dude. Major Dude runs second, but really was only 3/4, about 2 lengths behind them at the wire. And a big reason I was against Candidate is like, well, okay, he broke his maiden at Laurel Park, not. I wouldn't say that's an A. It's solid B circuit, but not an A circuit track. Wins gate to wire. Okay, wasn't a huge speed figure he got from that, but it was 2 turns on turf. Got the job done. Went to Tampa Bay Downs for his next start and set off the pace, just off the pace early, and powered home to win by 4.5 lengths. But again, I was like, well, it's Tampa Bay Downs, Laurel Park, and now we're coming to Gulfstream Park for their championship meet. Well, that bit me in the ass pretty hard. Didn't work out well. If you supported him, then you got 7-1. Got an excellent price. Excuse me. Grade 3 Kitten's Joy was his most recent start, and we've talked about this race a lot because Major Dude was in it. Dude in Colorado was in it. He did beat Dude in Colorado by a neck there, and so we've seen him beat 2 Todd Pletchers, including Dude in Colorado, before, or at least finish ahead of them. He didn't get the lead that day though, and he was able to stalk and make a good effort, but it wasn't. I don't think stalking was his game. I think he needs to be more forwardly placed. The concern I have with Candidate in this race is if you look at all the speed, he's the 4th fastest, 5th fastest. I talked about the 7-9-12. We haven't talked about the 10 Mo Visitor, who's an 84-1 long shot for trainer Ed Vaughn, and the Biscuit, Adam Beskiza. I think that they're all faster than this horse, and I'm really not sure, what Joel Rosario is going to do. He's not known for pushing horses too strongly out of the gate there. So a little concerned there with his running style, what would happen. Shadi saying she is drawn to the number 6 Mi Hermano Ramon for Mark Glatt, California trainer. John Velasquez, kind of a California jockey. He's coming back tomorrow to Santa Anita, as well as Flavian Pratt to ride the Santa Anita Derby and Santa Anita Oaks card, but they're mostly going to be based at Keeneland and then to New York after that. About me, Hermano, I can't keep rolling my R's. I'm not going to be able to talk the rest of the day. Like I said, a Mark Glatt horse based in California broke his maiden on debut, going 2 turns, never an easy thing to do, and he did it stylishly by over a length, going a mile. Flavian Pratt was aboard that day. That was early December, came back in late January, going down the hill at Santa Anita, a track that there's differing opinions about. People will say what they think is best, what horses do best down the hill. I tend to like horses that are milers going down the hill because I think that they can kind of coast to that early speed, and then that mile stamina that they have really helps them power home as they come across the dirt crossing there. But Kazushi Kimura in the saddle for the turf allowance that day gets the win, sat close to the pace, powered home to win by 1/2 length. Last time out, the Baffle Stakes, again going down the hill. That didn't work out so well for him. However, the horse that did beat him there, Johannes, came back to win the American Stakes last Sunday at Santa Anita Park. I'm sorry, the Pasadena Stakes. I'm getting my stakes mixed up. Got the Pasadena Stakes win by 3.5 lengths from fourth to all the way to the win, and a huge victory there. So congratulations to Johannes in that spot, and congratulations to mi hermano Ramon for finishing, fourth, beating 2.25 lengths behind him there. Wizard of Westwood was second in that race. That's a very good horse. I think once he stretches out to 2 turns. So there's your 6 there. You've got Velasquez. It's, he's 17% winners right now, 45% in the money. He's been pretty hot lately, though. It didn't help me in race 6 with Coffee Maker. She only got up for third, but Velasquez, I think he's riding pretty well. Stats say he's going well. So yeah, if you like this 6, you're getting a very square price on the gelding, 6-1. Son of Creative Cause out of a British bred mare. Let's see. Nick talking about a huge tree falling at the Masters. Well, that's scary. If a tree falls at the Masters and I wasn't watching, did it really happen, though? I'm not quite sure about that. Curtis Malin says, late kickers like Freedom Trail, almost always sharp or second time off of a longer layoff. I agree. You're going to see more of you would hope to see more of an explosion from that horse. All right, Nick, you said that you were into this, what was it, a $70 daily doubly from Corona Bolt into the number 9 Najarok. Let's talk about the horse that's taking all kinds of money right now. Here's the thing. If Pratt is able to get this horse to settle off just a bit, which he's done, the horse has been able to do in the past. I think sitting maybe a couple lengths, maybe in that first flight right behind, say, the 7 and 12, going in the first turn. Company from the 10, maybe from the 8, maybe another horse that we're not talking about, surprises in there. It's a good spot to sit. I remember, I think it was race 4. Frankie Dettori was on a horse that sat off of the pace just a little bit. Yeah, Hurricane Dream. Sat off of the pace kind of in mid-pack, a Graham Motion trainee, and then got the jump, and the closers weren't able to get there. The closers do well going 2 turns at Keeneland on the turf. When they're sprinting, you kind of want to be more forwardly placed, but it's hard to get a horse unless they just get a long, easy lead. It's hard to get them to go gate to wire going 2 turns on the turf. But let's go I'll keep going through the field here, see if there's, by the way, if you're in the chat, let me know who else you like here. I'd love to keep talking to you about these horses. We've got the 3, and the winner is, this is a horse that, had a lot of steam going into the Breeders' Cup juvenile turf. Trainer Wayne Catalano, Corey Lannery has ridden him his last 3 starts, stays aboard here. Won the grade 2 Bourbon Stakes over this course and distance last fall. And that's what makes him very interesting here, right? But you also had Flavien Prat riding that day. No shot to Corey Lannery. I would take Flavien Prat over just about any jockey, honestly, other than probably Irad, maybe Saez. Prat's right up there with me as far as the top jockeys in America. But the horse also broke his maiden almost a year ago. It was April 28th last year, going 5.5 furlongs on the turf against 2-year-olds. Looked very sharp doing that. Again, Prat was in the saddle that day. Almost won the grade 3 with anticipation stakes at Saratoga over the summer. Again, Prat in the saddle that day. Joel Rosario rode him for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, and I love Joel. I've loved Joel for a long time. Joel had a very long streak recently of just, there's no better way to say it. He just had the yips. You can't say it better than that. It is just, for whatever reason, he was snake bitten. I think that, there's been a lot of talk this year about jockeys and mental health, and I think, unfortunately for the guy, I think he got into his own head. And it was kind of beating him down. He's doing a lot better now. We saw that with the Wesley Ward horse to start things off for the meet. So I'm sure that Joel feels really good about getting off the schneid right off the first race at Keeneland. So that he's got that going for him. 2 races back for the 3, and the winner is the Bob Bork Texas Turf Mile Stakes. What a name, Bob Bork. 3-year-old's going a mile on the turf there. Had to fight very hard with Private Creed, who was a horse that won the Indian Summer Stakes. We already talked about him, won the Indian Summer at Keeneland last fall. And the winner is outdueled and won by a head in the stretch to get the victory. Good effort first time as a 3-year-old. Stepped up to slightly harder company for the Black Gold Stakes at Fairgrounds. Field of 8 was only able to get 4th there, and actually Wonderful Justice, with the horse that's the 4 horse we'll talk about in a second, got the win by a neck. He was, and the winner was a length and a half behind. Kind of was flattened out in the stretch. Didn't really show much. I'm willing to scratch that off. If you watch Fairgrounds this year, the turf course was like Churchill Downs' turf course like last year. Like, it was absolutely terrible. It looked like green, like not even a nice shade of green. It looked like ugly green dirt. Like, it just was terrible. There was nothing. You would see the kickback and it was flying and hitting jockeys in the head, and you can tell you can imagine the horses absolutely hated it. So he didn't. I'm willing to scratch that one off. You've got his third star as a 3-year-old. He's by Oscar Performance. He's out of a Scat Daddy mare. You would think he'd be able to hold on here. Expect to see him coming late. If you think there's a pace meltdown, the 1, the 2, the 3, pick any of those horses. I think they'll be coming late, and you can probably try and get them up for a price. If you're like Jared Rogers, take a couple horses you like that are short prices, put them in the top 2 positions, put some long shots underneath, and super effective. $5 super, paying almost $4,000 for Jared. So see if you can pick up be like Jared Rogers. That's what I'm trying to tell you here. Let's see here. I'm looking back at the 7, but yeah, Marla likes my 7. Yeah, I talked about Mustache. We'll get back to him in a second here. Number 4, Wonderful Justice. It's Brad Cox. It's Florent Giroux. You're getting a price at 9-1, and the horse is unbeaten in 2 starts, both routes, both on turf. Hey, man, you could do a lot worse than this horse, right? He gets the maiden special weight win, going to mile 16th at Fairgrounds with Flo in the saddle. Showed some fight in the stretch. It was especially for being his first career start against a field of 8. Yeah, I thought it was pretty nice. Gets the half-length victory. Steps up to that Black Gold Stakes. He's able to beat And the Winner Is and 6 other horses. Gets the job done by a neck. Here's my concern with him, and I had this same concern with Candidate. He was second. He was third. He was, within a couple lengths of the leaders. There's a lot of speed here. There's a lot of elite speed compared to what he was facing in those races, and I'm just worried he's not going to be able to stay close to them. We don't know what he's done when he's been asked to come from farther back. If he's going to be in that 3rd or even 4th flight of horses going in that first turn. But he is by Justify, your 2018 Triple Crown champion, out of a Giants Causeway mare. Giants Causeway horses, they always seem to do well at Keeneland, I feel like. Again, another horse that this is a big question mark because he's also coming off of Lasix after his first 2 career starts. That's not always something that you love to see. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with the 4. He's not for me, but like I said, my betting at Keeneland's been very up and down. So, just because I don't love the 4 doesn't mean you don't have to as well. The number 5, Rarefied Flair, one of your longest shots right now is 47-1. Actually, your second longest shot in the race at 47-1. We got a minute to post, by the way. Tell me down in the chat below who you like, who your bets are. We got Jared Rogers. If you're still watching, buddy, tell me who you're betting because see if you can keep that super effective train rolling again. Rarefied Flair, coming off of his first start as a 3-year-old in the Rushaway Stakes, going to mile 16th at Turfway Park on the Jeff Ruby undercard, rallied from way far off to get the job done by a neck. Santorini, decent horse, was 3rd that race. Was no match for And the Winner Is in the Bourbon over this course and distance last time out. And I'm worried that this horse really popped a nice one at Turfway. Maybe he's better in synthetic. Maybe he's better against lesser classes. But see, the horses are going to the gate here. Let's see. We talked about, just about every horse. The one I didn't, we might put him in the winner's circle if I don't talk about him. The number 10, Mo Visitor, broke the maiden second out, going 6 furlongs at Presque Isle Downs as a 2-year-old. Went gate to wire, but then in the grade 2 Pilgrim at Backwood Duck, going 2 turns, pressed the pace, faded to be 8th, beaten 12 lengths. And then I went back to synthetic at Presque Isle Downs. The Mark McDermott Stakes, 6 furlongs. Again, faded after being kind of prominent a little bit early. So Mo Visitor, the longest shot on the board, over 99-1 at this point. Not going to be for me. As I said, I'm going with the 7 here. I think that the 2 Web Slinger is got a great chance as well. They're just about all in the gate here. Good luck if you're playing. Jared, tell me your ticket. Let's see who you got here for the late pick 3. Race 8, the Transylvania kicking off the late pick 3. They're off. Let's see what happens here from a pace. I was predicting it would go 7, 9, 12 in that first flight. You're seeing it. The 4, Wonderful Justice is prominent early, but he's not going to be too close. The 6, shot of your 6 is sneaking up there. Mustache is going to have the lead, and boy, dude in Colorado, oh, he just got over. Oof, Irad must have been praying that he's going to be able to get over there. Oh, boy. Mi Hermano Ramon checks a little bit because he was squeezed. The 4, Wonderful Justice pushed back on the rail. The 9, Najarok tracking in exactly where you want him to be on this turf course. Nick Felton, he's sitting there in 4th, too wide as they hit the backstretch there. Not too fast, fast enough that you would think that Mustache would want to get that lead. Dude in Colorado is not letting him get away, though. He's about a half length off. A little over length back to the 6 with the 9 outside of him. The 4, and I think that's I can't tell. The 4 and the 9 rushing right there. 6 and the 9. 4 and the, boy, these saddle costs are hard to see. The 4 and the 8 rushing off. We got 23-3 for that opening fraction, opening quarter mile. Slowed it way down, almost a 25-second split there. So from the quarter to the half, 48-4 is the time on that. Nice to see that Mustache, someone who supported him, catching a breather here. They're starting to run up on him, though. We'll see. You got horses coming from the back, and the 9 Nazarok is splitting off 3 wide and has got dead aim outside of Dude in Colorado. See if Mustache has anything left. See if Dude in Colorado can hold off the 9. We got a mad scramble here. The 7's coming, but the 9 is roaring past. And Nick Feldman, you got to be screaming for this daily doubly. See if you can get him there. Pratt is trying. He's not going to get there. Oh, Mustache, gate to wire. Woo, boy, 7-9-2-6. Oh, what did I tell you? I said look out for Websinger to come up there and fill out underneath there. 9-2 on him. 7-9-2-6. Dude in Colorado, boy, he spit the bit pretty good there. I don't really know if you got an excuse. They went 25-2 from the quarter to that 3-quarter mark, and Irad stomped on the gas on Dude in Colorado, and I think he just saw the car just go right to E. Didn't work out there for him. He's well beaten across the line there. Mustache picking up the win. Luis Saez, Vicky Oliver, and what an effort there. Marla, I'll celebrate. You and I can celebrate. We're not going to celebrate too much. I know how much Nick Feldman's daily doubly was going. Sorry, buddy. I really mean that. I didn't have nearly as much money on riding on Mustache as you did on Nazarok. A good effort from him, but when you saw those splits on the backstretch, when they went 25 seconds from the quarter to the half, and then 25 plus from the half to the 3 quarters, size as good as anybody with a front runner, got him to take a breather, hold up, and power home there. So Mustache gets the job done. A 5-1 winner, 7-2 second choice Nazarok, 9-2 third choice Websinger. Pretty chalky. And then Shadi, your 6th, mi hermano Ramon. That's the last time I'm going to try and do that. Gets up, holds on for 4th, 15-1. Hey, there you go. Got the exactest, Shadi. Good job. Hey, Jason, congratulations. Thank you for, by the way, Jason, thank you for watching and following along with us. And I'm glad that you got that. Hope everybody, other than Nick, got the that nice 5-1 price on him there. And Chris Mello, that's what I like to see, buddy. Your pick 6, 3 for 3. Let's keep it going here. Tell you what, Chris, if we, you're going to make me have to work for this, aren't you? If you end up going, if you go 4 for 4, wait, hang on. You should be 4 for 4. We're 4 races into the pick 6. Are you 4 for 4? Where I'm going with this, if you get the Ashland right, I think you're going to force me to stay live on here all the way through that final race. Hey, we'll do it. Chris, because you're such a good friend of the dudes and a longtime supporter of Mike and I with the Magic Mike show, I'll do it just for you if you want. But we got to get you there first. Boy, what did everybody think about that race? Hey, there you go, Shotty, playing the TVG money back special. We're not sponsored by TVG. I don't want to try and give them too much publicity, but and I also know other ADWs do this as well, but I'm a TVG user. They have money back specials where you can bet up to $10 to win on a horse, and if the horse finishes in the top 3 but doesn't win, you get your money back. You got to have at least 8 horses in the race, but in this case, that worked out pretty well for you, Shotty. Glad to see that. That's the way that I went as well. So check that out. And by the way, if you want to join TVG, if you haven't yet, you want to get that nice new member bonus, hit me up on Twitter. A good way to support me. I get a little tiny kickback from if you use my sign-up code. So let me know. But Curtis Manlow, I can tell, not happy with the result. Says jockeys just let a horse walk on the lead and can't run him down. Who would have guessed? It's not how I thought. I mean, the race played out from a pace perspective exactly like I thought it was going to be, right? I thought Dude in Colorado would sit right off of the 7. Thought the 9 would sit right behind him, and I thought I thought the 2 would come running late, and I thought hold on to your butts if you like the 7 at the top of the stretch, but also good there. All right, Chris has got a confession. He has to bail after the Ashland, an Easter egg hunt. My little boy had his first of 2 Easter egg hunts this weekend. He had it at school earlier today. I wasn't able to go. I was getting ready to do the show for y'all, but I got to see some great pictures from Mrs. Magic about how that went. So, yeah, listen, kids, Easter egg hunts, kids, period. That always takes priority. Go for it, Chris. We'll just tell us after you complete the Ash and you go 5 for 5. Just tell us who you need to get home there in the last one. Kevin B says it always feels like Luis Saez is the one who fools the rest of the jocks, slowing the pace down. man, I know Irad gets all the hype because he's got the best, he's got all the best pletchers and he's, winning all the big races, setting all sorts of records. I think Luis Saez is as good as Irad Ortiz Jr. He doesn't get nearly the love and attention he should. I think this is an absolute world-class rider, and would love to see him win the Kentucky Derby. He did win it with maximum security, and then it's not his fault that the horse kind of just got screwy in this far turn, and also not his fault that the horse was juiced to the gills. But, oh boy. Luis Saez is very happy about that. Glad to see another jockey who's good at this. You can get him to do it at a price, and he doesn't do it often, but it's why you can usually get a good price on him. Julien Leparoux. If you put Leparoux on a speed horse and it looks like there isn't a whole lot of speed in there, Leparoux is going to go to the front. He'll walk the dog like anybody can do, and it will drive you insane if you didn't use him, because you'll sit there on the backstretch at Belmont or at Saratoga, especially Belmont with a big long stretch on the outer turf, and you'll sit there and you'll see them go 50 seconds to the half, and then they'll go a minute 15 or a minute 16 to the 3/4, and as a bettor you're screaming, somebody, anybody, push that damn horse so that my closer can or my stalker can get up there, and they never do it. So if you were doing that in this race about the 7, totally understand. No knock on that one there. Chris says the post killed the 12. I don't know, Chris. I don't know how much it really hurt him, because he did success. He wasn't, Irad wasn't pushing him hard to get Dude in Colorado over at the start. He wasn't trying that hard to get him over. He just ended up getting second and he crossed over before they started turning. It got dicey there. It was right before they started turning. He was able to get clear. But yeah, wasn't able to do it there. That's another good one. Nick Feldman talking about Jose Lezcano at Saratoga. Very sneaky at making you think he's done on the lead and then just boom, bursts in the stretch. Lezcano is one of those jockeys. I think in a couple of years we're going to see maybe he ends up being one of these traveling ones, right? Normally he's just based in New York the whole time. I think he just needs one big summer at Saratoga, and that will be enough to get him the attention he deserves, honestly, to be able to then follow horses to Keeneland and follow, all the Ortiz brothers and Rosario and Saez where they need to go. All right, full rundown for the Transylvania, and then I'm going to play a video because I'll be honest, folks, I thought I would have Aaron and Jared here, and I think they're a little too drunk already. Jared's celebrating the fact that he got 5 whole fantasy league points for Chrono Bolt, so I think that means I'm not going to see him at least until this is over. But what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and Dr. Miranda, I mentioned, did the preview for us for the Ashland Stakes. So with the Ashland being the next race, and we have I don't have how many minutes to post here. Let's see if I can find it. The post time is going to be, let's see, about 23 minutes. So I'm going to take a quick break just to take a sip of water and kind of collect myself. And we will be right back. But let me show you the Ashland Stakes preview from our very good friend and handicapper, Dr. Miranda, who, by the way, gave out South Lawn for winning the Fairgrounds Oaks 2 weeks ago. And then last week was all over the one horse. Gosh, now see, I started talking and I can't remember. She ended up getting a very big long shot. The Gulfstream Park Oaks, Flakes, I think. She's by Frosted, I remember that. But 30-1. So all that to say, if you're looking for a good pick here for the Ashland Stakes, coming up next at Keeneland, take a watch here, and I will drop out and be right back. Sorry about that, everybody. Apparently the sound wasn't playing. Let me see if I can get that to go for you again. We'll get the sound to play for you. So sorry about that. I was testing it out to see if it would work. Well, there's a little box that says share tab audio. Apparently if you check that, it plays the audio when you want things to happen. So we'll rewind it here. Sorry about that. Thanks for letting me know. The Ashland Stakes preview from Dr. Miranda.
Welcome back to the Racing Dudes YouTube channel, where today I will be previewing the G1 Ashland at Keeneland this Friday, April 7th. Why is it on a Friday? I have no idea, but this is one of the final preps to get into the Kentucky Oaks, and most of these girls need this race in order to qualify. We have 7 3-year-old fillies going 1 16 miles around the dirt track. Now, lately the weather in Kentucky has been very wet this week. It's supposed to rain all day today, which is Thursday. Hopefully it dries out a little bit before tomorrow evening, so keep that in mind when you are handicapping. We are going to start off with the number 1, and that is Pride of the Nile. She is coming in from California after having to face Faza, I'm probably saying that wrong, the last 3 times, who is the unbeaten leader in Southern California. She was within a link of her in the Starlet and then in the Las Virgins, but last time out in the Santa Isabel, she got her career worst buyer and also got last place. Now, she does have some excuses. She hit the gate, checked hard, but at the same time, her career best buyer is 77, which is well below some of these other girls in here. She has been at Keeneland for almost a month, so Doug specifically picked out this race for her, so he has to have some confidence in her ability for this specific race. The number 2 is Wonder Wheel, who was your 2-year-old Breeders' Cup juvenile filly. Coincidentally, Breeders' Cup was at Keeneland this year. So she clearly likes the track. She is 2 for 2 here at Keeneland and going this distance. She did okay in February in her first time back as a 3-year-old in the Suncoast Stakes. It looked like she was going to win, but she just really couldn't get past the eventual winner, Dreaming of Snow. Cassie said that he was impressed with her performance and she wasn't fully cranked. She still ran an 83 buyer that day, so she didn't really take a step back. But I think people are more looking for a blowout performance in that race. She is the favorite for now, but I'm not sure if she's going to still be the favorite tomorrow when we have Cox and Fletcher also in here. I will say that I do like her versatility. She's won gate to wire. She's also won closing and also stalking. So it does look like she can adapt to any kind of pace that may set up in this race. The number 3 is Guns and Graces for Chad Brown. She most recently got second in the Devona Dale behind Dorth Bader, who took 4th last week in the Gulfstream Park Oaks. Before that, she had only ran twice. She won one of those. She was purchased for $375,000, so they have some high expectations for her. I'm just not sure if she's ever going to be able to live up to that. Her top buyer is a 73, which is the lowest buyer in this field. Now, it's Chad Brown. Anything can happen, but I'm just not sure if I see a lot in her. The number 4 is Julia Shining, who also did well in her 2-year-old career, going 2 for 2, winning the Desmoselle at Aqueduct. She came back as a 3-year-old and got a disappointing 3rd in the Suncoast Stakes behind Wonder Wheel. Now, the only good part of that race is if you look back, she did respond to Louis size in the stretch, and she made up ground. She's been training decent in workouts. They're also adding blinkers on for the first time, which may help her out a lot. She's Malathat's full sister, so she has a lot of expectations. Fletcher has also won this race the last 2 years. We had Malathat, we had Ness, and now instead of bringing her to Aqueduct, where I think is the easier race for points, he's bringing her to Kentucky, so it shows me that he really likes her in this spot. The number 5 is Punch Bowl for Brad Cox. She is aggressively placed at 2-1 odds after winning her last 2 races. She did earn an 89 buyer last race, which is the highest in the field, but it was also an optional claimer at Oaklawn Park. She is very versatile because she won coming from last place, and then last time it was gate to wire. She shows clear talent and has a lot of speed, but I don't know if I can trust her fully after only having raced 2 times, and this is her first time in stakes company. And at 2-1, I'm not sure if I'm buying it. The number 6 is Defining Purpose, who most recently ran in the Honeybee at Oaklawn. She was no match for wet paint in her last 2 starts, finishing multiple lengths behind her. Her top buyer is 79, which is in the middle of the pack. So she may have a chance to hit the board, but I just don't think she is a threat for a win bet. The number 7 is Effortlessly Elegant for Norm Cassie. She didn't do well in the Honeybee, earning only a 62 buyer. But then she bounced back in an optional claimer a couple weeks ago. I think that there is talent here, but the outside post makes it even more trickier. So with all of that said, I'm going to go with a 3-peat for Fletcher and play Julia Shining. I think that she's going to bounce back on her second time back, and with getting the added distance, it's only going to help her. Underneath an exacta box, I'm going to try to get some prices across with the California Invader, with Pride of the Nile, and Wonder Wheel. So that is a 1, 2, 4 exacta box. Then in a trifecta box, we're going to add in another long shot with Guns and Graces. So that is a 1, 2, 3, 4 trifecta box. Let's hope these inside posts can get it done. Thanks for tuning into the Racing Dudes YouTube channel. Make sure you are subscribed so you get all the updates every week as we're getting closer to the Kentucky Derby. Comment below who you think is going to win this race. I will actually be at Keeneland all weekend along with the other two clowns, Aaron and Jared. So if you see us, come say hi. I will take a White Claw. And until next week, good luck.
Boom, there you go. We got Dr. Miranda giving out picks here, and she just texted me. She cannot believe her girl Julia shining 5-1 here. She's running to the well, proverbial window. She's not at the track today, but running to that proverbial window with a lot of money in her hands. All right, let's get into it. Ashland Stakes. We've got 7 3-year-old fillies, the main event here, going a mile and a 16th on the dirt. Remember, at Keeneland, a mile and a 16th, they are stopping early at the 16th hole. So it will be a little bit of a shorter run than usual. Marla Kay agreeing, loving Julia shining with Sias, who we just saw walk the dog in the front end. Here's the thing. Julia Shining is the opposite. Julia Shining is a slow horse early. She likes to come from way off of it, but she is talented. We've seen her get some wins. But let's run through the field here. Why don't we? Number 1, Pride of the Nile for Doug O'Neill is here because, well, she really did not do well against Feza in her last few tries over in California. You see that she won 2 races on the turf, broke her maiden going a mile at Santa Anita, and then came back and won a mile allowance. So 2 turns, good for her. A daughter of Pioneer the Nile out of a hard spun mare. No surprises there. Went to Los Al for her dirt debut, the Grade 1 Starlet race on December 10th. And Los Al is a track that Mike Somich famously loves to say it plays well to turf, and can't disagree with him. You see that happen here with this filly that had a really great trip, gets second, beaten by a head by Feza, Bob Baffert trainee, who is still undefeated. That was just Feza's second career start, first time routing. They came back. They decided to battle again at Santa Anita in the Grade 3 Las Virginia Stakes on January 28th. Feza again got the better of Pride of the Nile, beat her by a half length that day. Last time out, you can be a little forgiving for what happened to Pride of the Nile, at least in terms of the results. Really fractious, hit the gate when she finally was able to get out of it. Broken word, checked into the first, just all sorts of terrible trouble there. Not a good race for her. Field of 5, she never really left the back of the field, and she ended up being kind of eased late. Finishes 12.5 lengths behind Feza, who is my top pick and your favorite to win the Santa Anita Oaks Saturday at Santa Anita Park. I did the preview for that. You can check that out, youtube.com/racing dudes, little shameless plug. She shows up here, getting away from Feza. Possibly is this an easier spot? I'm not sure. It is also a Grade 1 race. That is a big, big, big factor for, especially for fillies. If you can get that Grade 1 placing, or if you can get that Grade 1 win rather, because she has a Grade 1 placing from the Starlight. If you can get that Grade 1 win, her value as a broodmare prospect just skyrockets, right? So she's got that going for her. She's Grade 1 placed, Grade 3 placed, 2 wins on turf. I just don't have any interest in her in this spot. I think maybe if you want to use her to fill out the bottom of your superfecta, then that's probably the best she can do. But you've got Frankie Dettori riding for Doug O'Neill when they were together in California. 13 starts together. I'm going to do the math real quick. 4 wins, so 4 for 13 together in California, and 69%, hey now, in the money. Gotta love that. And by the way, I say hey now, if you joined us for if you missed the Saturday live stream that we had last week, lots of 6-9 exacta finishes there. So the 6-9 kind of springs up here. And maybe make you rethink the Pride of the Nile if you didn't love her. Let's see, the second choice right now on the board is your Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies and champion 2-year-old filly Wonder Wheel. This is a filly that is 2 for 2 at Keeneland, going a mile and a 16th here, went gate to wire in the Darley Alcibiades Stakes. Not her preferred running style. She's, I think, is a little bit more of a stalk and pounce type of horse, but got the job done. Had a 3-length lead at the top of the stretch. And you remember that was the race where Chop Chop came from the clouds and just missed by a nose. Raging Sea was also right there in the mix. Got DQ'd out of third, but good fillies. They came back for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. Wonder Wheel, you could say took back. She was 11th of 13 for about half the race. And then she came powering home to win by 3 lengths. Tyler Gaffleone remains the only jockey to ever be in the saddle on race day. And here's why I'm against Wonder Wheel. what happened last time out in the Suncoast Stakes? I mean, we hadn't seen her for 3 months, but it was the Suncoast Stakes at Tampa Bay Downs. This wasn't Gulfstream's championship meet. This wasn't Santa Anita. This was a like a B- circuit, right? That she went in there. She got second. It was a decent second, but Dreaming of Snow beat her. I don't understand how she didn't get by Dreaming of Snow in the stretch there. I really think that she needed to. However, she does get the rust knocked off a little bit. Comes back to Keeneland. Gaffleone is a positive move ride for Mark Casse. Casse is 14% overall in the last year, 6% at Keeneland. Hey, it's a tough meet. I get it. It's hard. He also brings a lot of horses. 16% winners when Gaffleone rides, 33% in the money. So good stats there. A very talented filly, proven multiple times over this course in distance, and that's something that you can't discount. At 2-1, you are getting, well, a little bit of a fair price. She was 8-5 on the morning line. We'll see what happens as things move on here. Speaking of her, Curtis Manless says she's hammering the Wonder Wheel, and I'm not going to knock you for it. Sometimes you have to go with what's good and consistent instead of young, hot, and exciting. One of the few lessons that he learned away from the horse track, I think is what he means to say there. But yeah, experience, it counts for a lot. It really does. And, you know, if this is the opinion, if you're backing Wonder Wheel, you got to be agreeing with Curtis Manlow. First race as a 3-year-old is always a fade. They're never cranked for that race. Cassie seems to think, apparently Cassie's telling everybody's going to win. You got some good horses you're going to have to beat here. Some good fillies you'll have to beat, but she does have about as good a chance as anybody in there. The Breeders' Cup, and I don't have the stats off the top of my head. Breeders' Cup juvenile fillies winners, their first start is 3-year-olds. Very rarely do they ever win. It's almost impossible, it seems like, for them to get the win. Can she progress? Can she move forward? Possibly. She's Darv into Mischief, and she's got Tiz Now sire bloodlines on the dam side. Tiz Now, one of my all-time favorite horses. Tiz Now wins one for America. Anyways, that's my last Tom Durkin impression I'll ever do. Number 3, Guns and Graces, Chad Brown. Is this his best chance to win the Kentucky Oaks or get a horse in there? Maybe if you like the horses in the Gazelle that he's got. I like Sheeta Booty over there, but Guns and Graces debuted at Aqueduct in a mile race, got beat by Fireline by 13.5 lengths, but finished second. It wasn't her fault. Fireline was just an absolute freak. Got it to the lead early, another Chad Brown trainee, and just absolutely blasted off. Guns and Graces returns Tampa Bay Downs, not Gulfstream Park, which is where Chad Brown's based during the winter, but Gulfstream gets the maiden win. Extremely low speed figures for that, and it's Tampa. You kind of expect that. But got the win. Last time out, the Grade 2 Devonadale cut back to a 1-turn mile. Second, beaten almost 5 lengths by Dorth Vader. Dorth Vader freak. Dorth Vader, superb 1-turn horse at Gulfstream Park. Not good at 2 turns. She was really nowhere to be found when the real running began. Last time out in the Gulfstream Park Oaks. But Guns and Graces also 2.25 lengths clear of the big favorite and to that point, undefeated Red Carpet Ready. So beating some good fillies, she now stretches back out to 2 turns. And if you're supporting Guns and Graces, that is why you support her. She's stretching back out, a daughter of Gun Runner out of an Empire Maker mare. She's going to be coming late, but she is going to have a lot of steam coming as she's moving, and Rosario keeps the mount, like I said. For Chad Brown, the 2 turns, that's going to be what moves her up if she does move up at all. So that's where we're at with the 3 Guns and Graces. The 4, Julia Shining. Oh, how do you not love Julia Shining? Daughter of Dreaming of Julia, an AP Indy mare, makes her a full to Malafat. I always screw this up. She is by Curlin, and I want to say Malafat. Yes, also by Curlin. Full sister to Malafat, who won this race on her way to winning the Kentucky Oaks a couple years ago. Malafat also won the Breeders' Cup distaff over this course last fall. So absolutely loved Malafat. I was a huge fan of her. Julia Shining, not as talented yet as her older sister. She did get a win to start her career, but she was in a field of 12 here at Keeneland, going 7 furlongs. 11th of 12 early, 8 lengths back, ends up winning by almost 3. All right, that tells me a lot of horses quit out pretty bad. Demoiselle, she had a much tougher test in her second career start, a Grade 2 race, Kentucky Oaks prep race, Mountain 8. She was in the slop, a different track, different surroundings, terrible surroundings. Field of 7 came from 8 lengths off to get the win by a neck. She beat a horse, an Affirmative Lady, who was my pick to win the Gulfstream Park Oaks, and she got the job done. So beat a future Oaks Trail horse, an Affirmative Lady, for Grand Motion. But again, like Wonder Wheel, what happened? We got to the Suncoast Stakes. Maybe she just didn't like Tampa Bay Downs. I'm not sure. Maybe there wasn't enough pace. And if that's the answer, that is extremely concerning here in this spot. There really isn't that much pace. There's only 7 fillies. Julia Shining, I expect to immediately be right at the rear of the field in those Stone Street Gold Silks. I don't know. You are getting a good price on her, 6-1. That seems to be about the right price. And I think she's an excellent horse for your trifecta. If you want to play either Wonder Wheel or Punch Bowl to win, Julia Shining is an exacta. You could possibly get that done as well. But let's talk about the number 5 Punch Bowl. I just saw go by on the simulcast feed. Brad Cox trainee, undefeated in 2 starts, broke the maiden back in February in her debut, going 6 furlongs in the mud at Oak Lawn, wins by 3/4 of the length. Last time out, stretched out to a mile and a 16th in an allowance race. Every pole was a winning one there. Ends up winning by 4 1/4 lengths and was just, from the start, that she was ready to go. Florent Giroux was in the saddle that day. Pratt rode her in her debut. Pratt hops back aboard. We talked about this race briefly on YouTube Bet Daily earlier today. Why would you not take Pratt and Brad Cox on dirt 2 turns right now? And, the Angel of Empire, they proved that the King's Barnes, there's all sorts of reasons why you've got to love Pratt as a jockey in these spots. And Brad Cox, especially when it comes to the Oaks, seems like he's always got a lot of great horses ready to go. Punch Bowl, you can kind of question what she beat at Oak Lawn in a couple of her races, but you could say that. I'm going to say she did what she needed to do. She whipped the what out of him by 4 1/4 lengths. Pratt and Brad Cox, 39 mounts the last year together, 41% winners, 72% in the money. Here's the problem. She's 4 to 5 right now on the board. Might dip down to 3 to 5 here. So if you like Punch Bowl to win, the right way to bet this, unless you're just really like gambling with your life, and you just pay her at those low odds, play her in a cold exacta. Go with a 5-4 exacta, or maybe 8. If you like Wonder Wheel, go 5-2 exacta. It's still going to pay better than what she would be if she wins. Try and find the horse that'll get up there and get second. Do a cold exacta and go that route. If you don't like Punch Bowl to win, throw her out of everything. Try and beat her here. But she does look like she's clearly loan speed on paper. A 112 time form early pace rating. The next highest is Wonder Wheel to 99. And that 13-point gap, it's not insignificant. So Punch Bowl is my top pick here. But hey, that's 4 to 5, picking a 4 to 5 horse, just really not that sexy. I see people talking about Punch Bowl. We'll go here. If Punch Bowl romps, will people like her more than Botanical? I don't see how you don't, Curtis Manley. Botanical looked, 3 starts at Turfway Park, winning all of those stylishly, but she's never touched dirt. She's only touched turf and synthetic. And so as far as liking them for the Oaks, for getting price, I think you've got to like Punch Bowl. By the way, Botanical, trained by Brad Cox, and your deserving number 1 choice for the Kentucky Oaks, the big favorite right now, Wet Paint, trained by Brad Cox, also ridden by Flavian Pratt. So I'd be curious to see if Punch Bowl wins, which way Pratt rides. I am going to guess he goes with Wet Paint, but it's an interesting one there. Big Man saying Punch Bowl, even money in the UK, where you guys have fixed odds. Very jealous of that. Very, very jealous of that. I would love to get fixed odds, and Punch Bowl even money is a lot better than 3 to 5, 4 to 5. So then possibly could regress a little bit there, but I would say if you would like it, if you like her, you're getting value overseas compared to what we've got here. Talking about Punch Bowl, Kevin B says Brad Cox said in an interview he was nervous about Punch Bowl, thinking it may be too much too soon. I'm here to tell you, trainer speak is 99% bullshit. It's bullshit. They will say what they're thinking in the moment. They might say, I'm not saying this about one trainer in particular. I'm not saying this about Brad Cox. They'll tell you a lot of things, and you don't know what the motive is. You don't know why they would think that. They'll tell you they love a horse. Mark Cassidy apparently is telling everybody that Wonder Wheel is going to win this race. What happens if she finishes off the board? Trainer speaks bullshit, right? Be careful what you believe there. Be careful what you believe a trainer says the horse is going to make for its next start. You just really never know. For being a race for the fillies, you're right, Curtis. A lot of Cox in the Oaks right now for the way it's going. Kevin, I understand. Hesitant at the price. That's why I'm saying if you like Punch Bowl to win, play an exacta, play a trifecta. If you want to do a 5-2 exacta, throw some long shots underneath in the trifecta. Our buddy Jared Rogers will tell you that'll work out really well if you really push that one. All right. And since we talked about this horse, it'll be the last one. I'll get to the last horses in the field. Curtis Manlow's bet, King Wonder Wheel in a try over the field, tossing Julia Shining and Punch Bowl. Let's play a fun game here. Who's more likely to finish off the board? I'm not going to take Wonder Wheel out of the equation because I think she's a strong chance to win if she's able to rebound from that loss. Punch Bowl or Julia Shining? You got the horse who's going to be leading early, or the horse who's going to be like a pole and a half behind her early? Which one do you guys think? Tell me down below in the chat who you think is the better one to try and get the job done. All right, so this is a good transition. Ed Burke, no value on the 5. I agree. Not to bet to win. He's going to put 5 to win on the 6. That's defining purpose. And boy, here's something that we see a lot in Kentucky that can pay out well. A Kenny McPeak horse at a price, and you've got defining purpose right now, 15 to 1. Is that what she's at? 31 to 1. My goodness, 31 to 1 live right now as we're 0 minutes to post for the Ashland. It's a filly that you look back at her stats. She did win the year's end stakes at Oaklawn Park, going a mile as a 2-year-old on December 31st. And then she ran into wet paint in the Martha Washington Stakes. And then she ran into wet paint in the Honeybee Stakes. She wasn't a match for her in either spot. Now, she had a much better effort in the Martha Washington than she did in the Honeybee, but she also was really had a very poor trip, I would say, in the Honeybee. She was much farther behind early. She's a horse that I would expect to see probably sitting third. You can probably see it right there with Wonder Wheel trying to chase after Punch Bowl early. This is a filly too. If you like Wonder Wheel, or if you like Punch Bowl to win, defining purpose at 29 to 1. This is a great horse to put in your exotics and really get a nice payout. I don't think she's got that great of a chance to win, but I think she has a good chance to hit the board. So she is right now 31 to 1, and just to her outside is the 7, Effortlessly Elegant. Who Car Ramrod used Wonder Wheel Julia Shining Effortlessly Elegant, a $5 try. 31 to 1 on Norm Cassie, son of Mark Cassie, for Effortlessly Elegant. She broke her maiden second career start in the mud at Oaklawn, going 6 furlongs, prominently placed that day. The Honeybee, again, very poor break, very far behind, never engaged, hated a kickback. She got back on from a sloppy track. Returns at Oaklawn Park on March 19th, going to mile 16, catches fast dirt, also catches Lasix. She's the even money favorite. Ended up powering home to get a neck victory over Take Charge Brianna, pretty decent filly at Oaklawn Park. Liam's Map daughter out of an Uncle Mo mare. Probably you got really good stats there from the breeding perspective. And how about this? Trainer Norm Cassie, jockey Ricardo Santana Jr., 29 mounts together in the last year. Do the math here. 34% winners. They're 10 for 29 together for winners and 55% in the money. So another filly, if you want to go the Jared Rogers route, put the 6 and 7 underneath who you like as a favorite or at a short price here. Ed Burke says, you're killing my price, trying to make her sound good. She's 31 to 1, 34 to 1 on defining purpose. I'm just doing what I can. All right, we are 0 minutes post. Are heading to the gate, and we got a special guest. No, it's not Aaron and Jared. Screw those guys. I got somebody better. Dr. Tang joining us here just for the Ashland Stakes. Doc, good to see you. Real quick, who is your top pick, and how'd you see the Ashland playing out, buddy?
Hey, how's it going? Sorry, just finished clinic. Wish I got on earlier. But anyways, so looking at this, I mean, I think Punch Bowl and Wonder Wheel are hard to beat, but I kind of like Julia Shining, and this Pride of the Nile is kind of sneaky. I think O'Neill likes to send these horses from west to east coast, and sometimes he gets them to run at big prices, and that's what we have here. So, I mean, obviously Wonder Wheel, Punch Bowl, the obvious, but I think Julia Shining and Pride of the Nile will be a little sneaky here.
I have a hard time seeing this not turn into almost like a carousel just from the way the pace sets up. Is that the 5 looks clearly like she's going to take off. Yeah. Two will sit there right behind her. 7 will be there. How does the 5 lose? Is it just that she can't handle the distance, or that it can't handle Keeneland? How does she lose this race on the front end?
Right. Yeah. It'd be a not be able to handle the distance, or she doesn't like she doesn't like the track or the feel of it. And then if she can't handle the distance, she'll fade back, and then we'll see if either Wonder Wheel will sit off and come on by, or somebody like Julia Shining, who's going to be way off the pace, maybe can storm home. But it's the 5's race to lose at this point in time.
I think after this weekend, Luis Saez, he's going to wake up Sunday morning. He's going to have like Superman arms, right? Because he's going to spend this entire race pumping Julia Shining at the end of a long day at Keeneland. And then tomorrow, he's got Tappet Trice. And he's going to be doing the same exact thing with that horse, and just pumping every step of the way to go in a mile and an eighth. So his arms might be too big for his jockey silks there. So let me see here. We got... Car Ram, a sucker for Norm Cassie because of Beverly Park. That's not Norm Cassie. That is Norm McKnight, I believe, on that
Yeah.
one. Beverly Park, great horse though. All right, we're in the gate. Remember, they're stopping at the 16th pole, first wire. Oh, and Tyler wants to make sure that Wonder Wheel's forwardly placed there. Seven's going to be actually be second and push Punch Bowl a little bit here. Seven's got the lead. Did not. Well, okay, so this is how Punch Bowl loses, Doc. She doesn't get the lead at all.
Get the lead.
Ricardo got 7 out. She had broke very cleanly. It'll be 7 leading into the first turn, 5 flanked by the 6. We've got 2. Julia Shining is 5th and now 4th. She's only about 2 lengths off the leader.
Yeah, sets up really
did
well.
Not expect this.
Yes.
Smart move to try it here. If this works for her, we've got a new dimension for her for the Kentucky Oaks. If this backfires, all right, we don't try that again. Wonder Wheel in 5th. Yeah, Wonder Wheel sitting here in 5th. If you played her, are you nervous with how far back she is?
Yeah, unless she shows another dimension. That's not the ideal spot for her right here. I mean, it's shocking that there's nobody pressing this 7 here as much as I thought there would be.
Punch Bowl's back to 4th. She's still on the rail, but and Pratt's getting going on her now. Julia Shining's done.
Yeah,
Size is pumping, and she's going the wrong direction.
This 3 is rolling here. Look at this. It's coming. She's coming. It looks like, but this 7 looks a little comfortable. Well,
yep. You've got the 6 and the 7 going.
Yeah.
The 6 is going to take off. Defining Purpose has got this.
Wow.
If
McPeak,
you just gotta hold on because Julia Shining and Punch Bowl are coming.
Punch Bowl and maybe she's got.
There it is.
The 6 holds on.
5, huge 6, 5, 4. Where is he? Where's Ed? Boom. Ed Burke with the mic drop. A $5 bet on Defining Purpose. Ends up being 20-1, and she did take some money there late. She was 31-1 last I looked. Wow. Kenny McPeak at a price. I said it. Watch out for that guy.
Never fails. Only take them at 20-1 or more.
That is crazy.
Well, that's the biggest price of the day.
Wow. Well, there you go.
I mean, that's an exact. I mean, that's what happens when you cannot predict the pace, and the horse that you think that should be in the lead, the 5 should be there, and he doesn't, and he's like 4th. This is what can happen.
Okay, well, there we go. It's gonna be 6, 5, 4. Wonder Wheel, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Second to last. The trend of Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies champions, Dr. Tang, continues. They do not do well at 3. That was I can't really make an excuse. You could say, well, she didn't get the right trip. She had every reason to win that race. I mean, the 6 was falling apart there in the stretch because Punch Bowl and Julia Shining were still coming on, and nothing showed up at all.
Yeah.
So this goes back to what I said before you came on, Doc. I don't know if you heard it. Apparently, Mark Cassidy was telling everybody around Keeneland that Wonder Wheel was going to win this race and couldn't lose. And I said, trainer speak is 99% bullshit.
No.
Yeah,
I mean, they always say that. They always say this horse has got a chance. We've talked to a couple trainers. They always say that they expect their horse to put in a good run and this and that. So,
Nick Feldman, they can't stand Prant. Never get him to win. He had Punch Bowl straight, a $10 try. Punch Bowl singled over 1-3-6-7 with Julia Shining keyed in 3rd. You just needed the 5 and the 6 to flip up there. And that would have been a nice paying try for you. So sorry about that. That's tough. I'm sorry about that, Nick.
Tough beat.
Jared says, I think I have the 6 in my pick 3, one more leg. Chris Milo, did you have him? Chris Milo, let me know in the chat if you had him, if you had the 6, her, in this race. But okay, that's a Kentucky Oaks prep race. That is the first of 3 that we'll see this weekend. Who do you have right now? We got still 2 more races to go, but for the Kentucky Oaks, who do you have, Doc?
Oh, I mean, I don't think this race moved my compass any. I still think, I thought the preps from the last week's race, I thought, had more significant from my standpoint. But I mean, I'm going with wet paint. I mean, I don't see anything else at this point in time.
I think this race also officially confirmed Flavian Pratt is going to take wet paint and not take
Exactly.
Punch Bowl. By the way, Punch Bowl, 40 points for finishing second. That's going to be enough to put her in the Kentucky Oaks starting gate. Julia Shining, 140-20. She'll probably get in. They do a field of 14 for the Oaks, so not as many get in. But Julia Shining still, she'll be close. I think I'm going to guess that Julia Shining ends up making the gate for the Oaks. Even if she doesn't have enough points by the time the weekend is done, I think there'll be enough scratches and defections. She'll get there. It's wet paint. Yeah, Kevin B says wet paint's 1-9 now to get the job to win that race. I'm still on Botanical, especially because I know wet paint's going to be 1-9, and I know Botanical's a lot more forwardly placed.
Yeah.
I don't know who's riding. Probably going to bring Landeros over from Turfway, and that's perfectly fine. He knows how to ride her. But wet paint, you've got to love it there. All right, Doc, I know you're a busy guy. You got cancer to keep curing. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're able to join us for the live stream on Saturday, we'll hope to see you. But regardless, good luck with your bets and good luck with all your tourneys. I know you and Mike have got about 69 tourneys each day that you're trying to win as well.
The Players Championship, we're in the middle of it. That was the biggest prize, obviously, of the day. So we'll see who had it. I didn't have it. Oh well. But yeah, a lot of tournaments going on. Good luck to everybody that's playing. And hopefully, yeah, if I have time, I'll hop on tomorrow.
Awesome. Thanks for joining me and for giving me a little break on my voice here. You're officially better than Aaron Jarrett. I appreciate it, buddy. We'll see you later, buddy. All right, Dr. Tang out. Thank you so much for joining me. 6, defining purpose. McPeak at a price with Brian Hernandez Jr. This also means if you like McPeak price in the Bluegrass, you're probably not going to get any to get the win done tomorrow. But if you had the 6, Ed Burt, congratulations to you. Jared Rogers, I see you said that might have been in your pick 3 there. Congrats. That's going to help you out as well. The 6-5-4-3 Super for 10 cents paying $133. Jared, you probably wish you had this Super as well. That's a really nice paying one. The dollar exact is 66-1. That back wheel exact is something that John White talked about leading the Kentucky Derby last year. If you did the back wheel exact, you liked the Epicenter, you had Rich Strike over Epicenter, paid ridiculous amounts. If you liked Punch Bowl, first of all, 6-5 is what she ends up going off at, which is a little surprising, but that back wheel exacta for $1, 66. If you boxed the 5 and 6 together, it cost you $2. You got 66 back from it. So if you were playing Keeneland, good luck to you. Hopefully you keep going. If anybody in the chat is alive before I sign out here, if you're alive to any more pick 3s, pick 4s, pick 5s, Chris, I saw that you didn't have defining purpose for your pick 6. So if you're still alive, let me know. I won't be live for this last race, but I would like to have some rooting interest in that because I don't have any bets. I'm just going to sit back and watch the finale at Keeneland. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. This was a nice primer for tomorrow. I will have some help tomorrow. Mike Somich will be joining me, and hopefully we can get Aaron and Jared to join us. By the way, if you have Twitter, tweet them at @racing_dudes and say, try and get them to feel bad about not being on this show here. It was a good time, though. I really appreciate Shiza, where are those rascals? I really appreciate everybody who's in the chat. You made this a lot of fun. Thank you to Dr. Tang, as always, for joining me on the live show. But we will be back. Let me check the times. We've got the 3 Derby preps we'll be covering tomorrow. We'll be going live starting at 2 p.m. Pacific. That is 5 p.m. Eastern. And going again for about an hour and a half, we'll be covering the Bluegrass Stakes, the Santa Anita Derby, the Wood Memorial Stakes. It'll all be happening right here. Make sure you subscribe to youtube.com/racingdudes. And if you haven't yet, let me go ahead and pull it up one last time here. I can make a plug for it. The Racing Dudes Betting Bible. If in the past you've heard about or purchased our wagering guides, this is that. It's the same thing, but it is just much, 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 much better. It's Aaron and Jared. It's so much more streamlined. It's Aaron and Jared's race-by-race plays for each one of them for how they want to attack the day. They are targeting Keeneland. You can check out the Betting Bible over at racingdudes.com. It's available for purchase and download right now if you have any sort of a premium subscription to any of the picks products at racingdudes.com. The Somobombs, the Rockets, the premium picks. You get all of these included for free or included with your membership. And as a quick plug, we've got the Kentucky Derby officially less than a month away. So if you subscribe now, say you want the Betting Bible for tomorrow, you haven't bought it yet. Subscribe, pay the little bit extra for a premium product for some sort of a monthly subscription. You're going to get this Betting Bible included. That's a $40 value. You're going to get the Kentucky Derby Betting Bible included. It's another $40 value at least. I haven't priced it out yet, so I'm not sure. But you have all of these things that are going for you. You'll have all sorts of any other guys that we have betting Bibles leading up to the Derby. And then beyond that, we've got the Preakness 2 weeks later, the Belmont. So if you stick around for another month, a 2-month subscription will cover all of that as well. It's all happening right here at racingdudes.com. Make sure you check out, do some more quick plugs. Blinkers off. You can get the guys' picks for the big Derby prep races. Magic Mike, we covered the All Stakes Pick 5 races, 5 through 9, all graded stakes at Keeneland. Lots of fun. Love to see you back here tomorrow. Like I said, 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific for another hour-and-a-half long show. Best bets. It's going to be rapid fire tomorrow because as soon as one race ends, we go right to another track and then right to another track and right to another track. And for me, this show is all about just like being at the track with your friends, right? I'm sitting here at the home studio, manning the controls. I'll be here again tomorrow, not at the track, but I'm here with my friends in the chat. Love to have all of you here. Bring your comments, your hot takes, your opinions. And after tomorrow, man, we've got all of the Derby and Oaks pictures pretty much lined up, and we can talk about who we like moving forward for the big races. Check the chat one last time. We'll see. Ed Burke live in the daily doubles. Let me know. I don't know if you left yet. I saw you say goodbye. If you haven't yet, put in the chat who you've got. And here we go. Jared Rogers, single to 7, 2 back. Mo, I love that. That's my horse, the Sias horse in the Transylvania. Good job. Went 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 here. Brother, you were pretty much covered. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 to close out the pick 3. That's pretty awesome. So good luck to you on that one. Good luck to everybody with your bets. One final thing, and check it up right here in the left-hand corner, right there. Boop, 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 boop. OG Handicappers, you can check it down below here as well. OGHandicappers.net. Visit them. They are an apparel company. You can get these awesome shirts like the hoodie. I absolutely love this hoodie. If you see the live stream, it's getting to be too warm in LA for hoodies just about now. But as soon as I got this thing, I was wearing this thing every day. Love it. Lots of great products over there. Use promo code DUDES, DUDES. It'll get you 10% off site-wide. Shadi can attest. The shirts are like silky soft. They're just so lovely. So go give them a shout out. And we'll be back here, like I said, tomorrow, 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. Thanks so much, everybody. See you then. RacingDudes.com is your home for the best free picks for every race, every track across the country. We're ramping up for the 2023 Kentucky Derby, and we want you to join us in the fun. Subscribe to Racing Dudes YouTube channel, click the notification bell so you never miss a single video. Want to make money betting horses? Bet with the Racing Dudes.